We have an epic announcement. I think this will make waves like a tsunami across the real estate industry. I'm here with my good friend Curtis Johnson, who introduced me to Kyle Whissel and Dan Beer, and two of the largest producers in California, and really two of the best guys that I've ever met in real estate, killing it every single day. I believe they're doing collectively over 400 million in volume annually. Outstanding. And a big announcement today. They both joined us. They've joined the party known as eXp Realty. And man, we are
eXp Nation. Woo!
Today. We've been saying it for a long time that once you see it, you can't unsee it, guys. And what was your experience? Obviously you guys are producers, you get it. But what really was it that you saw that made you say, man, we got to do this?
Yeah, man. For me personally, I've run an independent brokerage now for 10 plus years. And the big sexy thing of owning an independent brokerage is the fact that at some point you can ultimately sell that brokerage.
Right.
And on the surface, that's super sexy. You're thinking, yeah, there's going to be a multi-million-dollar payday. It's going to be amazing. But just in the last 2 years, I've been approached by 5 of the largest franchises in the entire nation, and the entire world, really. And I learned a lot going through that process. I learned how it really works. And while it seems really sexy on the surface, it's not as sexy as it seems. Because what happens is they're going to look at your EBITDA, your earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, assets, which is pretty much your net income. But then if you are the largest producer on your team, they're going to take your production out of it. Now, most of us that run brokerages realize that the only profit in the brokerage is your production. So once they take your production out of it, your brokerage is pretty much worthless at that point. But let's just assume you've got a really profitable brokerage and it does $1 million in net income. So now what they're going to do is take that $1 million, they're going to put some sort of multiple on it, 3, 4, 5 times. So let's just say it's four times. So they're going to pay you $4 million to sell your brokerage. Sounds really sexy, right? That's that big payday that we're all looking for. But you don't get that $4 million up front. It doesn't work that way. They're probably going to pay you around $1 million up front. And then you got to stay on for another 3 years or so to get the other $3 million.
And you got to try and keep it all together, right? You got to keep the plate spinning.
You don't just stay on. You've got to stay on. You've got to retain your agents. You got to retain your production and hit certain benchmarks if you want to get the rest of that money. If you talk to any independent brokerage that's ever sold, find out, did they actually get all that money that they were promised? I will bet you 9 times out of 10, they maybe got half of that money. So what looks like this super sexy $4 million payday probably is going to end up being around $2 million. Then you get that payday, and then what? Then what the hell do you do?
Right.
Now you got to go back and start generating income again. So I started looking around for a better exit strategy, a better way to do this, something that was more realistic. And that was how I came across eXp, because they offer 2 things that I can't offer to my team, that I can't offer to my brokerage. And that's a retirement plan via stock and a passive income plan via revenue. Via revenue share. And those were 2 things that completely changed the game for me and is the biggest reason why I made the move.
Man, yeah, that's it. That's it. Very, very well explained. And I think that your numbers where you guys are in San Diego have the biggest opportunity to maybe cash out on a brokerage. So, the reality of, having those offers and looking through that and looking at, well, what are all my options and being open-minded, man, that says a lot about your character. We had to go through the same process as well and kind of put our egos aside and say, okay, what is this really, what are we going to spend the next 10 years of our life building? And what's the best option for us? And that's exactly the same conclusion we came to, was this is a no-brainer, if you're going to be in real estate for the next 10 years, where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully there's Dan popping up there. So Dan Beer, over, well into the 200 sides a year, well up close to 170 million in San Diego here. Good friend, amazing trainer. If you've probably seen some of his different stuff and known him for a while, and we were kind of discussing, I don't want to steal your thunder, Dan, but you're kind of looking at, obviously you're deep into the KW culture. And we're looking at some of the numbers of like, hey, do I start buying market centers? Do I start doing this? And that's really where the dialogue started, Jay. Even back, 12, 13 years ago, we were looking at how do you get all these fires together? How do you do this? And that's kind of where our dialogue started. And then Dan started bringing in Agent X and people that were unknown, and he's got more behind that. So the fire is going. But Dan, welcome to eXp Nation. And how you feeling and how excited are you, buddy?
First of all, I really could not be more excited to have the Beer Home team at eXp Realty. Guys, I am so pumped up, and I'm excited to be in business with you, Curtis, with you, Jay, Kyle. We are going to absolutely pour into San Diego. And really, at the core of it, I always think, how does it affect my people? How does it affect my agents? How does it affect the people that I'm involved with in business on a day-to-day basis? And what excites me the most is the fact that we're going to go from having one bucket, just real estate, sell a house, collect a check, sell a house, collect a check. And we've now found a platform where we can see, whoa there. We found a platform where we could broker our deals through eXp, but we can create this incredible company with people like us here on the webinar, people watching, the people that are going to allow us to pour into them, that will allow us to introduce bucket number 2. Owning an actual publicly traded company, and bucket number 3, which is revenue share, which has an exponentially different just power behind it, momentum behind it than profit share. And I'm so excited. Really, the biggest thing I want to share with anybody that's considering eXp, has been thinking about it, has been asking questions, is if you allow this group of people that are on this Facebook Live here with you right now, allow us to work for you, right? The way I've grown my business, the Beer Home team only exists and is at the level it's at because I've come to understand very clearly that I work for my team members. I work for my agents. I work for my staff, and my job's to pour into them. Now eXp gives me a platform where I can not only do that for the folks on my team, but I can pour into anybody in the country that will allow me to be there for them, to help them grow bucket number 2 and bucket number 3. And by the way, highly enhance that bucket we already all have, which is simply selling houses. And I'm super excited. Kyle, couldn't ask for a better just partner in crime to go to just do this in San Diego with, and you and me and all the folks that are going to allow us to pour into them. I can't wait to see them grow, see them benefit. And this is just fun, man. I haven't been this energized in a long time.
Yeah. So you guys probably see Dan's probably out. He's probably out farming and knocking doors right now because he crushes it farming. But one of the things he's talking about is when we come together, right? Obviously, spending millions of dollars in branding all the time. You get to keep your brand. You get to keep that. And I know that was really important to you, Dan, and also to Kyle. Obviously, to all of us. And being able to do that, keep that, but then still be able to bring everybody together. So how important was that? And I'm sure people that have spent millions looking at that, it's probably important to them as well.
Totally. I mean, the key here is the Beer Home team will keep operating as the Beer Home team, as it always has, as it's always looked. There's nothing that's changed other than the fact that my agents on our team, our staff members, they all now have the ability to also create other asset classes, retirement income, passive income. And so it's really just all a net gain, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Here comes the helicopter.
So for those of you who are maybe just tuning in and catching this, we're talking with Daniel Beer, Curtis Johnson, myself, and Kyle Whissel about their decision to join eXp Realty. And if you haven't seen the webinar, I'm sure there's a link in here somewhere. We'll be posting one for you to take a look at what the opportunity is all about. And I love what Daniel said. I mean, my whole career has been about, man, I like working with people that are like me, that are hustlers, that are go-getters, that really want to add value to people's lives on a big scale. And, this is just the only opportunity I've seen in my career, that has ever come across that really completely aligned all of our vision, to be able to do that together and in a way that was where everybody wins. And so that's, something that really excites me, getting to work with you guys. And it's funny how, I think, we probably at some level or another always look at our own marketplace as where we compete, right? Like, but, instantly when you join eXp, it becomes aligned to help the agents, even in your own marketplace, and to grow and become better, once they join you at eXp. There's a financial obligation and responsibility for you to help make sure that they're successful and share the things that you've done to be successful. And I think that, the agents in your marketplace are fortunate to have that opportunity if they see it, that they have the ability to not just, get mentored and learn from you guys, but really be partners with you at eXp Realty.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. The fact that somebody like Daniel and I can come together on something like this is one of the coolest things in the world, because I think both of us have always had this mutual respect for each other, and kind of watched each other's company grow. And we've been right there neck and neck with each other every year in the Wall Street Journal rankings. And it's been super fun to do that. And we've always wanted to find a way to collaborate on something and to work together and, to share the knowledge and the skills and stuff that we have. And to be able to do this together is insane to me. I'm so stoked to be in business with him, to be in business with you, to be in business with Curtis. I mean, these are, three of the guys that I respect more than anybody in this entire industry. And now the fact that even though we might compete on a listing, tomorrow, the next day we're going to come together and we're going to share the message and share this opportunity with more people. That is so rad to me, to actually be able to collaborate some of the biggest players, not only across the nation, but locally, and we can come together to do something. That's just super cool to me.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's it's been the most fun I've had in the last 4 months since I've been a part of this. I haven't had this much fun in 20 years of selling real estate. So you're definitely in for a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is just such a unique platform, because really when you start wrapping your mind around the fact that eXp, that's not your company necessarily. Your company is the folks that you're banded together with, the mastermind groups you're creating, the people that are pouring into you so that you could grow your second and third levels of income, your second and third buckets, and that are also helping enhance your real estate business. That's where, when I understood that, and that I get to now have you three in helping me improve my real estate business, which only helps me grow the other two buckets as a consequence, as a wonderful consequence of it. That's when I just stopped sleeping at night. But more than anything, I just wanted to express how thrilled I am to do this, and we're going to be sharing a lot of it. Kyle and I, if you're not in Southern California, we're going to be making ourselves available via webinar and online. So make sure you get that information from us. And if you are in SoCal, we're going to be in person workshopping and all of this with you on a weekly basis. We have one coming up this Friday. So if you're within driving distance, make sure you drop us a line. And at some point, Kyle might drop a form here just so wants to show up, and we'll get you the address for Friday.
Yeah, so we're going to do what our plan is because we understand a lot of you guys that are watching this right now, we're going to have a lot of questions about what is this? Why are these guys doing it? All of this stuff. And so what we're doing is we're going to do a luncheon locally here in San Diego every Friday for the next month or so. And we're also going to do a webinar every Wednesday so that we can really address all the questions that you guys might have about why we are doing this crazy, crazy move. So if you guys want to register for the luncheon that's coming up on Friday, it's going to be 1 o'clock downtown San Diego. Just go to fastforwardmovement.com, and you can get registered for this Friday, 1 o'clock. It'll be a luncheon. We'll provide some lunch for you guys, and then we can really get into the nitty gritty and show you exactly how the stock options work for your retirement plan, show you how the revenue share works for your passive income plan. One of the coolest things that really attracted me to the company too, if any of you guys know me, I'm all about technology. I'm all about being at the bleeding or leading edge of what's happening in our industry. And one of the coolest things that I found with eXp is that they, instead of trying to invent all their own technology, which so many people try to do and they fail and they're always, chasing the leaders, instead of trying to do it themselves, they went out there and partnered with the best in the industry. About a year ago, we decided it was time to step it up with our transaction management software so that our agents, our transaction coordinators, and our clients could have a better experience. And we literally, Russell for my team, demoed like 20 different systems. And he was like begging me, can we get SkySlope? Can we get SkySlope? It's the best. I was like, I'd love to, but it was, I don't know, $600, $700, $800 a month, something like that. And that just was cost prohibitive for us. Now we joined eXp. They partnered with SkySlope. We get SkySlope now. How awesome is that? Then on top of that, platforms are really the big talk. And so what these guys did is partnered with two of the biggest platforms that are out there in our industry in Conversion and Commissions Inc. So when you join eXp, just by being a part of it, you get either one of those platforms. Now, full disclosure, it's not the team $1,600 version, but it's still a multi-$100 version of these softwares that you can run your business on. So I don't know a whole lot of other brokerages out there that the day you sign up, boom, you get a Commissions Inc. platform, you get access to SkySlope, two of the best technologies in our entire industry. So I love that they're tapping on the best technologies and they're building partnerships with these companies to pass it down to the agents, which is super cool.
Hey, so I want to make just if you're joining us now for this Facebook Live, just to announce Daniel Beer and the Beer Home Team in San Diego is coming over and announced they're joining eXp, as well as Kyle Whissel. And Kyle, you want to tell us what exactly the name's going to be? But this is huge news taking over Southern California. Just so excited to rock and roll with you guys and the collaboration coming.
Yeah, one of the coolest things, when you run an indie brokerage, there's a big part of wanting to control your brand. That's, part of why a lot of people run independents. We're control freaks, right? The coolest thing with eXp is we really don't have to change our name. We will still operate. We'll be the Whissel Realty Group. We'll be powered by eXp Realty. So what's really cool is our name Whissel, we get to retain that, and that has a great reputation. We've been the #1 team in San Diego per the Wall Street Journal now for, I think, 3, it'll hopefully be 4 years when the numbers come out again. So we get to lean on that. But in addition to leaning on the Whissel name that we've built up over the last 10 years, we also now get to lean on eXp Realty, which is, as I understand it, the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of our country. I think last month alone in January, 1,000 agents made the move over to eXp. And hopefully we can help make that 2,000 agents in a month, with us leading the charge here in Southern California. So this is an extremely fast growing brokerage. It's across the nation. It's in Canada. So now for me as a small independent, when I need to lean on the fact that we are part of a national brand, now I have that, but I also get to retain my local roots with the Whissel name that we built up over the years too.
So, you guys see me on there right now?
Yep, we can see you with that, right? So a lot of people think they know about eXp, and a lot of people have been waiting for opportunities to look deeper into it, but they are looking for some credibility, right? There's some good agents in eXp, but as it's gone from 1,000 people to 7, almost 8,000 people, obviously the credibility goes up. And with you guys, obviously this is a tsunami with this. But how excited are you to be a part in letting people reach out to you guys, and how can they touch on again how they can find out more?
A ton. So, Kyle's going to tell you here in a moment how you guys can get more. He's going to drop a link. We have a webinar set up for you. We also have a Friday event, so we're going to get all that info out. I just want to, before we cut this, I want to just really make the point of how did we even get here?
Yeah.
And the way we got here is that on my own, I've been seeing a number of things play out over the course of the last year or so. First, I see that our industry isn't insulated from what's happening to all other industries around, in the world. There is massive disruption everywhere, and we know it's coming to real estate. It's just hard. It's been hard to see exactly how and where. I've been seeing a lot of the pain points of agents who aren't feeling like they're getting massive value out of their local brokerages, which is where they pay all of their fees. And I've also been listening to the conversation that's going on around the country. And I'm talking at extremely high level, very, very high level top producer groups, folks that typically would not be talking about us, at the time, 2,000 and 3,000 and 6,000, now close to 8,000 person company. They wouldn't normally be talking about them, yet the buzz, the constant questions, what's going on with eXp this, eXp that, it's the conversation. Being privy to the fact that you have unthinkable, unimaginable headline-making names around the nation that are about to make this transition.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity right now that I saw, which was, this is the moment to jump on what will be the biggest brokerage in the world. It's already the fastest growing ever, and it will be the biggest in the world. And so I'm having these thoughts, and I reach out to Kyle, and I say, Kyle, can we have lunch? We sit down for lunch. I take him through my thoughts. He's like, holy shit, man, I'm thinking the same thing. I've been looking at the same thing. I've secretly been studying eXp, and the conversation was natural from there. So I'm telling you right now that Kyle and his $200 million a year business, my $164 million business this past year, and a lot of folks just like that, like this, Curtis Johnson, who's made the move, Jay Kinder. There are folks just like this across the nation that are making this transition and being first in. It's sort of like what if you had been at Keller Williams when there were 5,000 agents? The profit share those folks are collecting is mind-blowing, and that's profit share. Now times that by about 20 for revenue share. Okay, so that's the opportunity. That's why we're so excited, and we've literally bet our entire family's future on the platform and moved our businesses to eXp. Thrilled to be in business with you guys. And Kyle, what are the exact specifics so that we can just continue the conversation with anybody that has questions on how it affects them, their business? There's a million questions, and by the way, I asked about 500 of them before I made this change myself. So totally cool, and we're gonna work through that all with you.
Yeah, if either of you guys know Dan or I, we are obsessed with understanding everything. Like, we want to know the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs. We want to know everything. So I don't know about Dan personally, but I've got a couple hundred hours worth of research into this. For me, a big part of it is, one, I want to understand the ins and outs. I want to read every contract, all the compliance, all of that. It was also important to me to talk to the leadership, the CEO, to make sure that our visions are in alignment with each other as well. And Dan, you talked a little bit about kind of the future, like this, and this is a cloud brokerage. I think that's important to talk about. So what really makes this brokerage different is there is no brick and mortar offices, which means they don't have millions and millions and millions of dollars of leases that they're locked into across the nation. I mean, I think there's a chart Remax puts out where they have, 1,000+ offices across the world. Like, that means you got 1,000+ leases. You got 1,000+ rents that you got to pay every month. There's a ton of employees that you have to staff those offices with. And what eXp has, learned is those offices are ghost towns most of the time. Hardly anybody's going in there. So why lock people into these crazy big leases? Because those leases eat all of the profit up for these brokerages. So everything with eXp is in the cloud. All of the education is in the cloud. All of the training is in the cloud. All of the support is in the cloud. So we really look at this as the Netflix to Blockbuster. So instead of, Blockbuster's gone because they had all these leases. This is the Uber to taxis. They don't have to go buy taxis, right? They don't need that. They're tapping into all of the existing resources. And one of the coolest ways that they solved this is, you guys are like, well, where the hell am I going to work from? Well, most of the high producing teams around already have their own offices, because we've all learned we don't want to be in that office that has 200 or 300 people, because there's way too much noise and way too many distractions. So most of us already have our own private offices, and we intend to keep those. But as an added value, they signed a contract with Regus Executive Suites. And now whenever I want, I can just go drop into a Regus and get some stuff done. Here in San Diego, it's an hour drive from the north part of the south part of San Diego. With traffic, that could be 2 hours. Well, now if I'm going to be up in the northern part of San Diego, I could just work from there for the day and drop into the local Regus office and get my stuff done.
Awesome, guys. It's great to be in business with you. This is a great book too, by the way. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to pick this one up, Exponential Organizations. And, we're at the very, very beginning of this opportunity. When you think about, the opportunity as far as how many agents there are in the country, and how many people are likely to be moving to eXp in the next couple of years. One point I wanted to make too, when you look at the growth of a company and you look at how franchising has historically been done in real estate, and why we believe this company is going to continue to grow on the hockey stick curve is, they took the technology, they took all that cost and infrastructure. And if you remember, like Keller Williams, you had to have 30 people commit or something like that before you could actually open up an office. And then you go out and you get those commits, and then you can open up your Keller Williams in that area, and you can recruit in that area only. And one of the things that eXp has done with that cloud-based brokerage, again, the reference of Netflix versus Blockbuster, is it's enabled them to and essentially add as many agents as you tell about the opportunity across the country. They can join eXp, and you get the revenue share on that opportunity. They took the cost that was going out to all these brokerages, that they were building, and these offices they had to build, and the infrastructure and the pay structure that they had to have in order for somebody to take a region and operating an office, and not just Keller Williams, but any franchise that was out there that's tried to grow quickly. They just couldn't grow quickly. It was cost prohibitive. It was a very slow growth model. It takes 20, 30 years to grow a company to that size. But like you see with Uber and all of these, these platform-based companies, it's very similar to this opportunity. I think, we're expecting, I don't think that anybody can really predict how fast it's going to grow, especially with the big names like you guys coming on board and joining in. So we're looking forward to, adding more value. Our goal is to help you grow and sell more real estate. There's obviously, the couple of pieces that, that you don't have where you're at probably, which is ownership in the company that you're working, and the opportunity for a revenue share, another stream of income. But we're all really good at selling real estate. And, part of what our commitment is to you when you join eXp through us and on our team, we become partners with you, and we want to add as much value as we can. So the training, the things that we've created over the years are all going to be included. You're going to have access to a ton of valuable content to help grow your real estate practice as well. So I'm really thrilled that you guys joined the eXp, and I'm proud to say that I'm partners with you guys, and looking forward to having a lot of fun together, and B, helping a lot of real estate agents make a lot more money in their real estate profession.
And another thing I think is important to point out is eXp is not big in Southern California yet, which for guys like Dan and I, we see that as opportunity. In the markets where it's at, it's growing like freaking crazy in Texas, in Florida, in Northern California. But Southern California is an untapped resource right now. So when you're in a company that has a revenue share opportunity built into it, we all know being at the front of that movement is where the opportunity is. And that opportunity is right now.